Hello, everybody, and welcome into another exciting episode of Bloody Good Horror. My name's Eric, and I'll be your host for this evening, where we will be reviewing Weapons, the latest horror film in theaters. Joining me tonight, first up from Indiana, please welcome Casey to the show.
Hello.
Next up from the mean streets of Oakland, California. Two ladies from Oakland here tonight. We're shifting the balance. Please welcome Rachel to the show.
Respect the balance.
And returning Matilda to the show, please.
Hello.
John's doing CEO business. He's too important for us this evening, so here we are.
John's got fancy pants and plans to match.
That's right. And yeah, we were out in the theaters. Fun fact about my theater. Oh my god, there's a black fly in this house, and I've been trying to kill it for an hour, and it just landed right in front of me to taunt me.
This is
Rachel,
like your episode of Breaking Bad. The whole episode is just going to be you hunting this fly.
I sent you the photos. Right. That's exactly what I was thinking of. I sent you the photos from the theater, right, you guys? No, I don't think Matilda saw them.
No.
So I go and I sit down. This was on Saturday. I go to a matinee on Saturday to the Haunted Mall. And I go into the one theater that has seats. And as I've noted previously, I'm now wearing my AirPods on noise canceling during movies. Not fully. It's the adaptive one. Mm-hmm. It's really nice because it kind of rides the levels that like dialogue sounds louder, but when the movie just starts like murdering your ears, it just sort of brings everything down. So I sit, doing well. I manage my fluid intake. I don't have to pee. I make it through the movie. I go to get up, and the lady in front of me turns around, and she's looking kind of a couple seats next to me and like just in a huff and making a face. I'm like, what's she looking at? And I look over. 2 seats next to me. One of these recliners is covered in plastic, has a popcorn bucket in the middle, and there's water dripping into it. And I look up, and I follow it, and an entire giant ceiling tile has rotted out in the ceiling, and there's just water coming down from the ceiling. And there's clearly like black mold around where this like leak was happening. I was sitting 2 seats over, and I'm guessing because of the noise canceling headphone. She's like, I could hear the water drip in the whole movie. I was like, I didn't hear shit.
Oh my god!
Pretty quiet where I'm sitting. So yeah,
Eric's
then of course
blissful ignorance continues in the
then my hypochondria kicked in, and I was like, well, I'm definitely having a reaction to the mold.
Yeah, you're, like it's definitely cordyceps, like as we learned from those.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
So I know
Sorry, go ahead.
I know people have grown to appreciate the haunted mall stories. I just wanted to let them know it continues to not disappoint what's going on in that place. So
Yeah, I mean I feel like every haunted house needs a mold infestation. So I feel like that it's just.
Yeah, you gotta
They're
have
just
a little
stepping
mold.
it up.
surprisingly, it's like they have a pretty old school like wish fountain in the middle, because it's kind of like a star, and in the middle is like an old school kind of like throw your penny in fountain. They fixed that. They got that going again. They can't fix shit in the theater, but we got the fountain back. So
well, it sounds like they're running on them pennies.
Yeah.
That was a major source of income for that.
And there is a pretty cool nerd store in there now. And there was a day where they had like a vendor sitting out in front of the nerd store selling old Fangorias, and I bought a couple of them, so that was cool.
Nice.
But anyway, there's your Haunted Mall update. Let's do it. Let's take a quick break and discuss Weapons.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. Stop the prime time. Main feature.
Rachel, excuse me, remind me, are you an energy drink person?
I do enjoy a Celsius. I have kind of a range of beverages that I like. That's my breaking glass in case of emergency beverage.
Yeah.
I start with like tonight is just a coffee with oat milk, then I have what I call a naughty coffee, which is full of sugar. And then if that's not getting it done, then we escalate and then we go full Celsius.
But it's like 5 o'clock there. You're not drinking anything after this cup of coffee, right? Caffeine?
I would drink a cup of coffee and then get into bed.
Really? Wow.
Caffeine. I have such a high tolerance for caffeine that
That's wild.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I've been unfortunately dipping back into the energy drink thing, but more regularly and less as like an in case of emergency thing. I was just curious I had an Alani last week and felt like I had smoked crack. So that was an interesting experience.
I mean,
that was a wild ride.
If you resist the urge to drink them every day, I can get it back down to where I can get a whiff of color, like I can still kind of.
And I find it so interesting because like Celsius is clearly, the branding is so like Celsius is clearly like the classy one. Like you could drink a Celsius and still pretend you're fancy, I feel like, because it's a wisp of flavor. It's not overly sweet. The can is very simple and clean, right? Whereas like Alani to me is fully
out on the set of For the Love of Dilfs on Celsius. I had a PA bring me one there while I was talking to Stormy Daniels. So
Alani to me is like the trashy version. Like it's just pure. There isn't even really any sugar in it. It still somehow rots your teeth. It's like pure, just like carnival flavors. And like
I like
you
my teeth
feel,
to feel like they're wearing a hazmat suit a little bit.
That's what Alani does. Yeah. So like it's interesting. Anyway,
I can like feel it right now.
What's going on with me? Rachel, please bring us the word of the day.
All right. So today's word of the day, usually we start with the word and go with the explanation. I'm going to flip it around because I picked this word for a very specific reason for this cast of characters. Because it's a word that has two definitions that are actually kind of in conflict with one another. And I feel like there's a good chance that how we feel about the character that inspired it will have a similar divide amongst the cast.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Today's word of the day is virago. All right. Any of you familiar with this word?
Well, what's the first letter?
Virago with a V.
Virago.
Perfect.
Got it.
Yes. So it can mean two things. It can mean either a bad-tempered, scolding woman. It's in fairy tales, often like the evil stepmother is considered a virago. But it also has a second definition, which is a woman of great stature, strength, and courage.
Oh, interesting.
And I feel like we're going to potentially have conflicting feelings about a particular character in this. It is from the Middle English.
Conflicting, huh?
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
see. We'll see where we land.
Now I think maybe we do.
It comes from the Middle English, from the Latin viragen. It's related to the word virile. It's about like the whole like courage and strength apparently are like masculine qualities.
I'm reminded of the term dragon lady, which is maybe something more that I would use in that instance.
Well, now you can be fancy when you want to say dragon lady. You can just say virago.
Yeah. I want to be clear, Rachel. Rachel, I want to be clear. You'd have to be, this person would have to be very mean to me over a sustained period of time for me to use the term dragon lady. I don't use that lightly.
I mean, you could call me one and it wouldn't hurt my feelings. It's one of those
Well,
things where
you're
it's like
lovely. You're not a dragon lady.
Oh, thank you. But it's like when people used to call me a social justice warrior. I'm like, that sounds kind of cool. All right, I'll take it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that's
Like,
like
oh no,
hitting
I'm
like
woke.
You think it's hitting.
Yeah.
I like it. It's weirdly close to the actual meaning of my name. You know, when you look it up and something means like Lamb of God or,
You mean Rachel? Yes.
Oh, is that what Rachel means?
That's what Rachel means.
Matilda means battle maiden.
Ooh,
Nice.
that's hot. I like it.
And my old last name meant old lady, so my name meant like old battle
Old lady
axe, which I
battle
liked.
maiden. That's incredible. I love that. Rachel, who made this movie? And then I'll tell everybody what it's about.
Sure. Okay. So Weapons, which is what we're talking about today, it comes from writer-director Zach Krieger, who we all know from Barbarian or The Whitest Kids You Know, because he was a member of that as well, if you didn't already know. This is his follow-up film to Barbarian, and it's interesting because it actually has a little bit of a troubled history. It was originally cast and ready to go in 2023,
Oh.
like right on the heels, because Barbarian was such a huge hit. They basically like threw money at him to make a follow-up film. But then, so they casted it up. Pedro Pascal was going to be in the Josh Brolin role. There was an actress
This
that was supposed to play
actually-
Julia Garner.
This plays into my theory, which I'll get to.
Oh, okay. Now I'm double intrigued. So they were like getting ready in pre-production, ready to rock, and then along comes the Screen Actors Guild strike, which put massive delays. And almost every single actor had to drop out. Pedro Pascal had to go off and do Fantastic Four. All of these actors left. The only people
And
that
Julia Garner's also in that.
Oh
which is
yeah, I guess
interesting.
you're right. That
She's a
is
Silver Surfer, isn't
Yeah.
she?
that must have been
Well,
awkward when they're
but
like,
probably
well, we
less of
got
a-
Julia Garner.
Yeah,
Probably
but he was
needed
the
her
lead.
less, I would guess, than him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably true. So they all fled. The only actors that made it into the final product are actually June Diane Raphael, who plays Donna, the wife of, or the fiance of the.
Who, of course, is on How Did This Get Made?
Yes, correct.
Podcast.
And
I was like, hey, I know her.
that lady. That
And like
lady,
2
yeah.
episodes of New Girl.
And
Yeah.
Parks and Rec. We went through her IMDb last night. Trying
Who
to
was
figure
she in
out where
Parks
we
and
all know
Rec?
She was Tinnifer
from. Jennifer.
Yeah.
from Eagleton.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yes. So anyway, and so her and then the guy that plays sort of the junkie, Austin Abrahams is the other one that stuck with it all the way through to the final product. So
Interesting.
yeah. So they cast it up. Thankfully, they were able to find new people. It almost died, but they like were able to pull it together. And now the next thing he's doing, which I think is interesting, and I'm curious if there will be rain fights. His next film, Resident Evil. So
Oh,
The junkie dude?
no,
the director.
Oh, the director. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I'm
what a
intrigued.
bizarre pipeline. Okay.
But I
Yeah,
looked. He is one of the writers listed, so it's not like a full gun for hire. But I'm very
Yeah, yeah.
curious to see what he does.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Here's what this movie is about, and I'm going to endeavor to be as succinct as possible. Okay. Julia Garner's a teacher. One night, middle of the night, every one of her students but one gets out of bed, walks outside, and runs away into the darkness. Small town freaks out, and then what you are seeing in this film is the fallout of this scenario. So everybody is sort of suspicious of her, thinks she might be like, oh, like they're freaked out. Why was it her class? What's going on with this one kid who was left? Josh Brolin's an angry dad. You've got a police officer character. You have a local sort of like junkie character. And you're also following like, I can't remember if he's the principal or like a school counselor. Is it the principal?
Principal. Yeah.
Okay. And so it's the fallout from this mass disappearance. And it's told in sort, I don't know what you would call this, but there's sort of like different chapters, sort of like different timelines of the same event from each of these characters that then converge and then kind of move forward together at some point in the film.
Rashomon Light.
Also, at the point that they converge, this new character is introduced, who is, let's say, our dragon lady or our what was your word? Our Virago.
Virago.
And she sort of comes in, and at that point, the plot starts revealing itself. She's sort of the bad guy, and what her aims are with these kids. That's it. That's the movie.
Very
oh,
succinct.
And you get random Justin Long, which is always fun.
Yeah.
In fact, I forgot it was Barbarian Dude, and I was like, Justin Long. Oh, Barbarian guy. That's right. All right. Casey, what did you think?
So I went into this one completely blind. Just here, I saw the teaser trailer early on. And that was definitely the way to go. This movie surprised me because it did not play out at all like I thought it was going to. And so once we hit that midpoint where it starts to reveal itself, I was kind of like, huh, okay, where we're going. And which is to say too, I did struggle a little bit with the beginning of it. I thought it felt a little slow at the very start after the kid thing. I think I didn't like the way the town reacted to Julia Garner's character after events went down, but I think that's just, didn't sit well with me. I understand the point they were making. I think it's because my mom was a teacher, and that probably set me off.
Yeah, fired up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought that beginning was a little choppy, and the way this is non-linear was a little hard with the slow pace for me at first to really kind of get into what was going on. But once this thing slips into gear, it's in gear and it goes. I mean, once we get to that point where it starts to reveal that what's going on, and you can get the hints, but there's a great scene with Aunt Gladys and BD Wong in the office at the school, and when we first meet Gladys, and from that moment on, you start getting an inkling of what's happening, and then just seeing what actually turns loose and what goes on is just bananas, and I loved it. So that back end really made up for the problems I had for the front end. So as a complete whole, it's really solidly put together, and I think this is a great follow-up. And now I'm really curious to see what he's going to do with Resident Evil.
Me too.
I mean, it wouldn't even matter who it is. I just want to know what 2026 or whatever Resident Evil looks like.
Yeah.
Matilda, what'd you think?
So I also went in not knowing too much, and I saw Justin Long and I was like, here comes the turn, but that's not true. I think this movie...
He's just driving down the road on his cell phone.
Exactly. I was like, here we go. I think this movie builds and releases tension so effectively. And I think there are arguments that it's too long, but to me, it was kind of like, and this was actually happening to me during the movie because it was so long. So I don't take this with a grain of salt. Like when you really have to pee on a long car trip or in a long movie,
Unfamiliar.
and then when it finally happens, you're like, God, I need to appreciate this more. Like the release in the third act of that chase where it's...
I see what you're saying. When it finally
Yeah.
comes to fruition, it's like that feeling of
There's a
just
lot there.
an epic peak.
Yeah.
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 And you just get the endorphins and you're just like, oh.
Yeah, and it's all the things I love about this director and loved about Barbarian, right? It's
Yeah.
terrifying and absurd, and it's funny without being horror comedy. There are places I thought I knew where this was going. I was absolutely incorrect. Julia Garner, I would watch in anything. I loved her in Ozark so much.
Gonna have to fucking kill me. She is too good for that show, honestly. I've ranted about
Yeah.
Ozark before. She's the best part of that show by far.
By leaps and bounds, and here she's incredible. And I think that the theater experience of this is pretty important. Kind of like with Barbarian, like if you can see this in a theater, go see this in a theater. I'm sure we'll talk more about the ultimate resolution of this film, but for me, that kind of like, I felt like I was in the hands of somebody who really knew what they were doing in terms of,
In the arms of an angel.
yes, building the tension and then letting it go.
Rachel, what'd you think?
So it's so funny. Like I think it's like
I've been
the
listening
Zach
to
Krieger
90s
effect.
playlists. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, like both of you, I went into this with as little knowledge as humanly possible. I saw a tiny bit of a teaser, and then for work, I had to watch this weird. It was like a viral thing that they did where it was 15 minutes of just like in silhouette, someone feeding people soup, which now I understand why. But I wanted to have as close as possible an experience as I had when I saw Barbarian, which is like one of my all-time theater experiences of just really seeing something that came out of left field. And I don't know that this necessarily lived up to that experience, even with all of the like level setting and precautions that I took. But it did really solidify for me that I like what this director does. And I think you talked about it a little bit, like feeling very much like in the hands of somebody that knows what they're doing, that is like crafting something creative and different and tonally and experientially different than other filmmakers, who many of whom I love, right? I think it's kind of bold to take a movie like this that is a horror film and really for a long stretch of it treat it like it is more of a character piece punctuated with moments of horror. And I think it works because I am interested in the characters that he creates by allowing them to be messy and playing against our expectations. Like when we first meet Julia Garner's character, you really expect her to be kind of like a mousy teacher. And then we find out she's quite messy, and really bucks that archetype. And I think the dad could be very one note in terms of like his anger and rage
Sure.
about what's happening. But instead we get these little moments where we understand like part of what he's really dealing with is the guilt of his own sort of toxic masculinity around his inability to like tell his child he loves them. These little character details enriched them quite a bit for me and like kept me going between the sort of horror moments. I think there's a lot of great symbolism in here. It's hard to talk about like the meanings of things without really getting into deep spoiler territory, but I will say we've already talked about
can spoil.
Gladys. Okay, I mean like all of the themes around like having a secret life outside of home versus in your home, those things I think hit really hard for me and were very effective. I think Gladys is maybe my favorite villain of the year by a mile.
She's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the minute she shows up on screen in that meeting, I
The
felt
actress is
alive.
serving it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Matilda and I like basically held hands every time she was on screen.
I was very uncomfortable with her bangs and her lipstick situation, but I do think that was the point.
Oh,
so
that wig
that's
was
probably-
amazing.
I'm like ready to get that haircut.
Yeah, we considered arriving here today dressed as
In
Gladys,
cosplay.
both of us. Yeah.
We discussed it. But yeah, it was great to see Julia Garner actually utilized properly after the like debacle that was Wolfman at the beginning
Yes.
of the year. So
Oh,
yeah.
man,
She
when
was
you
so
put it in
wasted.
those terms, this is a big
Yeah.
horror step up from Wolfman.
Oh boy.
That's a good point.
Boy.
That's a good point.
And it has
And
just
she does
such a
get-
bonkers ending.
She does get Wolfman, right? Where like even though she's basically the main character because the other one turns into a friggin' wolf, like she's given nothing to work with. Whereas in this movie, like she's, to your point, she has a lot to chew on, which is nice to watch.
They gave her emotions in this movie.
Yeah, and your point about her being messy and nuanced is definitely a good one. I mean, it's kind of fun to watch, honestly, because like
Yeah.
yeah,
When we get to the
I-
part,
And it
it's
makes
like,
it, but
oh,
it makes it realistic too, though.
yeah.
To that point, because I mean, everybody's teacher's got a secret life that you don't know about. We all do.
I think I'm mostly aligned with Casey this evening. I will say, you know, sometimes, Rachel, I'm prone to hyperbole. So I'm going to endeavor to not do that this evening. Let me just give a blanket. This is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's hard for me not to judge this on the scale of 0 to Barbarian. On the scale of 0 to Barbarian, I think this is like a 6.5, maybe a 7. On a scale of what I've seen this guy do. It's hard. Usually when I don't like something, I kind of know what I would do to fix it. I think it's too long. Like the length for me is kind of a deal breaker. And it's partially because it takes so long. What's her name? What's the redhead lady's name?
Gladys.
Gladys.
Once Gladys comes in, I think Casey was saying this, like, that's where you're like, here we fucking go. Now I
Yeah.
feel like the guy who directed Barbarian is making this movie. The rest, before that, I don't so much. And I was just missing that kind of madcap vibe of Barbarian. Like, I do agree, you really don't you don't really know where this is going, and I definitely appreciated that about it. But, like, and to be fair, Barbarian is very much like a lightning in a bottle kind of moment. Like once Hollywood gets its hooks in you, the chances you're going to be able to like capture that kind of chaotic vibe again, very low. But it's what bums me out to an extent about this movie is like, it feels overbaked in a way that now that I hear it's been delayed, I'm like, I feel like while this was getting delayed, he had money people and people being like, well, what if he did this and this and that? And it also feels a little over-focused tested. And I say that for one specific reason. No one can convince me that this film needed that monologue in the beginning, that info dump. A lot of times you see a movie with an info dump off the top and you're like, okay, I needed that. There was a problem with the script. I needed all that context. But actually within the first 20 minutes, I think you have all the context that monologue gives me. And he doesn't strike me as the kind of filmmaker that would start this movie that way unless it was tested and a bunch of dummies were like, I don't understand what this movie's about. And they have to like really, it feels to me like they felt like they really just had to spoon feed that in the beginning, even though Julia Garner's section describes everything that thing describes. So that would like felt like a strange choice to me.
Yeah.
I will say it is a little contradictory for me to be like, this movie is too long and slow, but also I don't like this thing in the beginning that's trying to speed it up a little bit. But it's not speeding up the plot. It's just trying to like maybe leaving me with a little more mystery to figure out.
Yeah.
Would have made it a little more intriguing while I'm wading through some of these smaller parts. And I also I think I like all the characters and I see what they're bringing to it. So I'm not sure how you would chop it. You'd either have to cut one of their perspectives out and shift some stuff around, or you'd have to just kind of trim around the edges everywhere. I don't know that I needed to spend as much time with the junkie guy as we did, only because to me, he's the least layered. He's funny, but it's Julia Garner, it's Josh Brolin, it's even the principal. He has less to work with, but I enjoyed that stuff because it's fun and it's at the point of the movie where it's starting to get interesting and we're getting to link all the context together. So
I'd cut the cop. Fuck that cop.
Yeah, it's interesting, but he's also messy too in the way she is. I enjoyed their sort of whole interaction and because you sort of see that they slept together, but you don't see any of it. Then you see his perspective and you learn oh, he just fell off the wagon when this happened. And this shit, he's not a good dude, obviously, but
No.
I'm
just saying if we're cutting somebody. I don't want to cut any of them.
I didn't fully catch on that they
kinda
had a
liked-
previous relationship either.
Yeah, I did. And then it was over and then they probably were drinking a lot together and sloppy and he was trying to kind of get his life together and then backslid. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. And I think if you hop into this on an afternoon in your house, you can pause it to pee and have 9 glizzies on standby to hang out and eat. It's pretty good. It's hard for me not to be damn man, it's not Barbarian, but to be fair, I think Barbarian is once every couple years kind of deal. And it's probably the kind of movie you make one of in your career if you're lucky, and then just go on from there. Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, 100% with Casey. By the time it kicks in, you're it's pretty. It's pretty
Here
solid.
we go.
I wouldn't call it the scariest thing, but it did get me with a couple jump scares.
Yeah.
We had an
imagery was
unexpected
great.
jump scare in the movie theater.
Yeah, we did.
Oh no.
Worked out great for me.
Yeah, in the shot where I know because she went and peed. So, but in the shot where she's following the kid down the street, and you see him way down there, and it's very tense. All the power in the theater went off, and all the emergency lights came on, and it was a click.
Oh.
And it wasn't a bzzzt, it was a click. All of a sudden, we were sitting in a bright space, and so that was so similar.
Did
to
the movie stop or
Barbarian
did it keep
experience.
going?
Oh yeah, no, the movie
movie
stopped. And it was
Stopped.
out for a few minutes. I ran to the bathroom and came back and it started again.
And it was so tense. I mean, I don't know if it's the way the world is that we were did something happen?
Hell yeah.
Is this how we find out the nuke went off?
Yeah,
Oh,
totally.
no.
And so we're in a pretty packed theater because Tuesday is special movie night, special price movie night. And it took everybody a while to recover. There was a lot of
Everybody's nervous system is just fucking.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
you guys are in a place where stuff is happening.
yeah.
We sure are.
That happened to me when I was in Beetlejuice at the Haunted Mall. The power went out 3 different times, and I had to wait for the whole system to reboot.
It only
I
happened to us
almost
once,
left, but I was
thankfully.
I'm not sitting through this goddamn movie again. My favorite scene in this whole movie is when the principal and his partner get killed, but it has nothing to do with killing. It is literally all about what a lovely afternoon they looked geared up to
The
have.
hot dog moment.
I know.
The hot dog when he's coming in with the tray of hot dogs and he's holding.
I
his
believe
hands
it's
out like this.
7. Was it 7 glizzies on the tray? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Also, I think it was orange soda, some kind of soda situation. There was popcorn in the kitchen. I was
Well,
like,
there was other
these
snacks with the glizzies too.
Yeah, I was like,
And
these
they're matching
guys.
Mickey Mouse shirts.
Matching
was a
Mickey and Minnie
charcuterie board.
shirts.
The Mickey Mouse shirt. Well, it's funny because earlier in the film, you see him monster style attack Julie Garner, and you're like, why the fuck is he wearing a Mickey Mouse shirt? And then you see, but they got their little track jackets on. I'm like, these fellas are about to have such a lovely afternoon.
Day of my dream.
Yeah.
And they're little lazy boys. They're going to kick their feet up,
Oh yeah.
have some hot. I know there has been some discourse on the internet about the sheer volume of hot dogs that was there, but like if you're really gonna hang out
Not
for a
here
few
to
hours
shame.
and go at it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a
they're
lot.
at home and comfortable.
It's not.
They do your thing.
It is a
many are
lot.
on there?
Let's be clear, but
There's
maybe
two
they're
of
trying to
them.
hit their protein goals.
I mean, at the most, one of them's gonna eat 3 hot dogs. It's not that bad.
Maybe they're
no.
training for
Everyone
Nathan's
stop
4th
hot
of
dog
July.
shaming.
I believe it was 7, which I'm choosing to be like a Bible reference, and like 7
Yeah,
seems
true.
like such a specific number.
A
Yeah,
lot of 7s in this movie. 3 7.
and so that's like a 4 and a 3, Casey. But like,
Yeah,
if you're really
yeah,
hungry,
you're right, I
first-
or
did the math
3 and a
wrong.
half and 3 and a half. I mean, maybe
There
that
you go.
last one they're gonna do like Lady
That
and the
would be
Tramp
cute.
style and just.
that would be adorable.
I mean, but let's be honest. There's been times in my day I could put away 4 hot dogs without a second thought. That's not really that big of a feat.
But that whole scene is so good, and it is when the movie turns. It is when I was like, all right, now we're fucking awake. Let's do some shit.
I really love the effect of her weapons. The people, her minions that she was sicking on people, like BD Wong when he was going after Julia Garner. Just the way the eyes bulged and the intensity they had, and watching him climb over Josh Brolin in that parking lot and just running through him. I just thought that was super effective, and I loved it. Since anybody charging at you like that and crawling over somebody would make me pee myself easily.
I have a
Even
question,
without the bulging eyes.
Rachel. Like, so she's trying to get her like mojo back, right? By like taking control of these like souls. That's like this is like a vampire Lestat situation.
I mean,
like,
she's a parasite.
he's in the
Yeah.
swamp.
creature.
He's eating rats. He's trying to
Life
get his
force.
her energy back. But like, what is the end goal of that? Because like she gets all the kids, and then she still seems like what's the next step after she has? Because we don't really see it her plan come to fruition so much.
Well,
I
yeah,
guess.
because she
It got cut off.
She plays her hand with the public attack of Julia Garner's character. Like the attention has shifted too much. That's why she's like, we're getting out of here. So I think she was gonna do like one big final feast and then bounce. And then
What does the feast mean? What does that mean in this context?
like she's going to consume whatever life force is in these
Yeah,
kids.
she's feeding off
That's
those
why she's
kids.
down in the basement. She was like down in the basement feasting. That's why some of them, I think, were like in the voiceover at the end. We find out some of them like begin
don't
to
fully
speak
come
again.
back.
Yeah.
I think she's been feeding
it.
on them this whole time. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I think's going on.
It's 100% like a
Shang
Elizabeth
Tsung in Mortal
Bathory.
Kombat.
I mean, this is like this
Yeah.
is basically like a fairy tale, right? Like she's the
Yeah.
witch that comes in and
Sure.
It's
you know.
basically the Countess of Bathory and her
Yeah.
bloodbaths.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Okay.
But it's a nice twist on it, and it makes it different.
buy
And,
it.
what's
Yeah.
cool though, but with this
Yeah.
being called weapons, and like the one scene in the movie I didn't understand was when Brolin was out looking for his son or whatever, and he saw the gun over his house.
That was a dream, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So they're
I
all
think-
having dreams of Gladys. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But didn't that tell him? I swear that was like, go look at this rifle tower or something. Wasn't that had something to do with the map, the gun? I was confused by the gun as well.
Yeah.
Me
But it
too.
had
I
a
was
number
like,
on it, and then he matched that number to something in the map, and that helped him like.
Well, it was the
Triangulate
time
or
that
It was the
kids
time they left.
It was
Oh,
the clock
okay, okay.
essentially was on the like counter thing.
So
I think
never mind.
it's
I'm with
just
Casey. I don't
dream
understand the
energy.
weapon either.
I mean,
Yeah.
dream imagery. I don't think that the weapon itself. I think it's a little bit of a misdirect, but I also don't think it has that much meaning. It's more just.
It is just a
dream energy.
deeply specific thing to show. To
It
have-
Yeah,
is
and it-
have meaning.
especially in a place in a mystery where a bunch of kids are no longer in a classroom and one kid remains in the classroom. I was like,
ooh,
oh, this
yeah.
is a school shooting movie. Like,
Yeah.
Right,
this
right,
is
right.
it.
Yeah.
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 That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But seeing it to the end, the dream logic makes sense, and coming from Gladys, that makes more sense now that you point it out that way. But it just seemed out of context and weird too.
Yeah. I mean, it's really strange. They're all like having visions of her and dreaming about her. We were talking about this last night on the drive home, like trying to like puzzle through what that meant. And like, I don't know that we ever get a specific answer, but my interpretation is essentially like she has this massive amount of power that's like radiating out of her, that's like permeating the community. Like thematically, we're talking about sort of like the impacts and the evils of like tragedy and things like that. But within the supernatural sort of take on this, I think it's more that people are in their subconscious being impacted by whatever power it is that she has, that's just sort of like leaking and contaminating like the consciousness of the community. And that's why they're dreaming of her, that's why they're seeing her, that's why things are like the weapons thing is coming up. Is some of it is like a collective unconscious that people don't even realize that they're tapping into because of her. That's my interpretation anyway. I don't know. I could be up my own ass, but that's
to
that's
Eric's point,
from it.
I would be curious to see what Gladys's end game was with this big of a plan that she had going on that's taking over an entire town like that and all these kids. Because I mean, is it just that so she can live another 100 years, or is she gonna, is she got something big planned?
One really, I think, effective plot thing is how like she kind of tricks the kid, because he's like, and if you get better, you'll leave, right? And she immediately recognizes like, oh, okay, this will motivate him. So she says yes, which is just a really smart, like emotional beat in the movie. But it is kind of unclear, again, like I'm saying, what her next phase, like, would she actually leave? I mean, she's obviously lying to him in the moment, but like, she's just going to stay in that house and like, I don't know.
She probably moves on because
I don't mind, to be clear, I don't mind that it's a little vague. Like I do think most things nowadays kind of get over explained, but it did leave me with questions.
Yeah, I'm just curious more than anything. I mean, but that's a sign of a good movie that makes you keep wondering about it. It's like, well, what would have happened? To me, that's a good movie because it's still sticking in your head.
I mean, I think it's like once she exhausts the food source in her basement, she can't just like keep making people in this town disappear. I'm sure she probably would have ate her nephew and then bounced.
Yeah. I would imagine she would have turned up younger, and your typical vampire, she would have come out looking younger and would have moved off to the city and started living it up again until she needed to feed again.
Yeah.
Would have been, I mean, that's just as likely.
We
see how she arrives.
Old.
Yeah.
Like when she talks about the having consumption.
Yes.
That's a very antiquated term.
That did make me laugh. And then is it the principal? It's like, I don't actually know what that is. It's like, I've seen it in a history book or something like that. Yeah. I can't remember who said that.
Some of these kills in this I thought were great too, as far as a straight up horror movie. There's some good gore in this. Like the whole scene at the end of the glizzy scene was pretty brutal with the way they shot that. I enjoyed that a lot. And there's a couple moments in here that just kind of surprised you and lashed out. Anybody else have any favorite kills or anything like that?
I mean, I loved every single like action scene because there was this level of intensity and chaos and then absurdity,
frenetic,
that like it like just absolutely sent my nervous system into overdrive when anytime somebody stepped over the salt and shit fucking popped off. Or anytime we saw people running with their arms behind them, any of that, all of that really worked for me because it was the frenzied behavior meets the uncanny valley in a way that just got under my skin.
Yeah.
I loved the James will not stop coming at Josh Brolin. Like he just keeps knocking him down brutally and he just pops back up.
Throws him. Yeah.
I honestly loved when the druggy kid stabbed the cop in the face with the needles too.
Oh
that
my
was
god!
Hilarious.
Yes, yes.
Because he was already freaking out, and paranoid about it. And then he gets stabbed in the face.
I also
love
love Gladys in the woods, like Pennywise, just watching.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Do you have AIDS?" And he was like, "I don't think so."
I loved that character.
That scene was funny.
Too.
Yeah. At first, I was not happy with I didn't like that druggy kid at the first moment with the cop because I thought there was a chance the cop was going to get like a redemption arc. And he's telling him, do you have anything that's going to stab me in your pocket? And at first, I didn't like that kid. But then as we watch that kid cross the bridge and find that house, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, I like him.
Well, that's sort of
good.
like what Rachel's saying about the movie is it gives everyone some nuance.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed the actor who played the cop. I just thought he was funny and like
Yeah.
funny, but he's
Solo.
also scary at times. Like his performance
Yeah.
was really good.
When he's like goes from being like sir, and to just like popping the kid in the face, that he flips on a dime.
You know what
in a way
moment it
that's
is?
really
It's
scary.
where he like that flip is really good. Is when he's leaving. He's just talked to his supervisor and told him what happened, and the supervisor's basically, as long as the kid doesn't come back, like whatever, we can sweep it under the carpet. He goes outside and he sees the kid. We later find out why the kid is there because the kid knows or whatever. But like to see him go from he's scanning and he's assessing what's going on. He sees the kid and then he snaps and he fucking gets in his car and he slams the door shut and he peels out. Like, yeah, he's really good at portraying those sort of like snaps, like and how like
Yeah.
tightly wound this character is.
Yeah.
Well, and he flipped like that in the other way too, because like didn't his wife or his girlfriend call him at one point when he was
Yes.
with Julia Garner?
Yeah, the boss is
Yeah.
Donna's dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the way he
God.
flipped and lied was just like, whoa.
Wait, say that again?
At one
So
point,
his-
that cop's. Yeah, go ahead. Tell
Yeah, his boss, the chief, is Donna's dad.
Oh, I did not
his
put that
girlfriend's
together.
dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why he
I
looks
see.
at him like after it kind of comes out that he's cheated on her when he's walking by the window and he's just
Oh,
fucking
Yeah.
glaring at him.
because he knows what happened.
I see. I see.
But we didn't even talk about how insane the end is. It is
Yeah.
wild.
The
I
run
was,
through the houses.
we
I
were
could
like
not.
scream laughing, but also
Oh,
and then
yes.
it just erupts into like the most violent thing at the end. It's just so satisfying.
And it was also very Ferris Bueller esque, watching all the people hanging out in their houses and turning, watching the lady go screaming by in the backyard.
I love the part where Josh Brolin is like following the the trail of destruction, and you can hear all the people commenting as he's walking through. They're like, "Now there's a man in the living room."
Did you see what they did to the yard? There's like,
I really
Yeah,
like
it's-
Josh Brolin in this too. I mean, I'm a Josh Brolin fan. He had a great turn though. I really
He's
like.
good in here.
I was really worried at first when he first met up with Julia Garner. I'm like, oh, he's gonna be this character, and it kind of set me on edge. And then to see him actually like respond rationally to her points eventually as it unfolds and start helping her
Right.
out. I'm like, okay,
You know
that's
what?
redeeming. I like that.
I will say what you're saying here, Rachel, about these characters. It is in some ways redeeming the film for me because if you look at each of these people
Yeah,
on the face, they're all pretty well worn genre tropes.
Yep.
But that's not what the characters end up being, which is actually
right.
the fact
minute
that
we
made it
switch to
through
their-
the Hollywood
yeah.
system is impressive.
The minute we switch to their like subjective perspective, there's like immediate depth, and it's always counter to what you think.
Right, but
Yeah.
that's a good point. Right, and that's the advantage of the way they tell the story is like you see them through the other characters' eyes, they're flat. They're 2D, right? And then we get to see it from their perspective.
Well, he did some great. Kroger did some great tricks with the way he shot those scenes too. Like when we first get introduced to Josh Brolin, he's sleeping in his son's bed, missing son's bed, which we don't realize. And then there is like a big poster of some army guy with a machine gun and stuff like that. So as the camera pans in and we on Josh Brolin sleeping there, we see this room. My first thought was he was going to be some kind of, survivalist or, ex-military nutty or something like that. You turned out he's just a regular dude, but like he was a contractor or something like that. There was tricks like that that they played with the set and stuff too that kind of set your expectations one way so they could zag the
point.
other way.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
yeah. And even the kid, where we get
Yeah.
the second interiority of the kid, which was heartbreaking. I don't know if you all read anything after seeing this about the director saying this is like a straight up autobiographical part that like living with like alcoholic parents about like the flip of. I think that's where Rachel and I were both like a little emotionally punched.
being parentified.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that can be a lot of things, right? There can be
Yeah.
alcoholic parents.
It's very literal in this sense. Like he's got to feed them and shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can have a declining I myself just fed a declining parent in that way recently and was like, whoa, this scene is rough, right? Or Rachel, you
Yeah.
like we all have different things about like that
like
flip
we all know
of
my
caregiving.
growing up,
Yeah.
with all the shit I went through. Yeah.
The start of that scene, though, too, the fork scene with the parents
Oh,
on the boy, that was my favorite scene in that. That was just crazy and intense. When they start stabbing themselves in the face, I was literally like slack jawed.
I love someone who can be quiet and terrifying. Like the understated, like sinister nature that she brings. Like you
Yeah.
feel the threat is palpable when she starts describing to him like, I can make them hurt each other. I can make them eat each other. There's no question that she can wield that power. And
Yeah.
it's in the context of the powers that she have, but it's in the context of the performance that Amy Madigan, I believe her name
Yeah.
is doing in this role. She's just so good.
Well, at the same time, though, the kid's fear is palpable as she's delivering that, too. You can feel every bit of his fear as you sit there and watch it through him.
He's so cute.
Yeah, and he's a great little actor.
He's so cute. I don't know. I'm not even like a kid person, but I was like, protect this child at all costs.
Yeah. It's interesting what you're saying, Rachel, too, because I think Julia Garner comes like preloaded with that quiet menace from Ozark.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
She's got the crazy eyes.
Well, she has the like capable of anything kind of
Yeah,
preloading
exactly.
from that other role. Yeah.
But she's always struck me as having the crazy eyes. I think she's a great actress, but you could never tell which way she's going to zag.
Oh, that's the best part.
Yeah,
All right. Would you recommend this movie, Casey?
absolutely.
Matilda?
Yes, and see it in a theater.
Rachel?
What Matilda said. Theater.
I'll say also yes, but I'm going to say watch it at home with some busies.
Speaking of zigging and zagging.
I will say this, though. Rachel's convinced me we're going to put it on the top 10 list, so let's take a quick break and do some fan mail.
Send feedback to info@bloodygoodhorror.com or on Twitter using hashtag AskBGH. Join Patreon to get back episodes and much more. Patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror.
And we're back. YouTube.com/bloodygoodhorror. That's where we do a live stream of the show every week in color, 1080p's. Patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror is how you can get to that. You can also get back episodes of the show, access to our Slack community, and much more. Patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror. We always have a very loyal cadre of people hanging out and watching the stream and commenting. And tonight, they did not disappoint. Liz says, Eric, that place is going to slowly take you out, spore by spore. I'm telling you, I could feel it. I could feel the black mold in my lungs after I left. Liz, did Eric say glizzy? I did. I'm just terminally online, so that's what it is now. Sorry, I can't help it. Gen Z has decided that's what we call them now. Samantha Christ, can we all agree that the CGI assault rifle over the house was super weird and disjointed choice? It's interesting. It's interesting. Like I said, it's a very specific thing to not come back to in any way.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I did notice this. Samantha Christ also says lots of subtle nods to parasites in the background as well.
Yeah.
I noticed some of that stuff in the classroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even the couple was watching something about cordyceps when they were about to have
Yep.
their
Yep.
delusion.
Ants, yeah.
Jace, based on the level of detective work, she probably could have cleared out the whole town. That's fair.
Pew pew, shots fired.
Yeah, like the stuff that Josh Brolin is doing is just stuff the cops could have easily done. Like,
They should have been doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I feel like they could attract those kids on ring cams. I mean, but it's fine. It's
I
fine.
know. They didn't leave the neighborhood.
It's also a magical witch movie. Sometimes you just gotta go like, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jace, I love the dichotomy of how funny the kids chasing Gladys through multiple houses is, followed by the horror of when they
Yes.
catch her. Yeah, I mean, just completely ripping her apart. That's a barbarian
fantastic.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
That's
there.
like the horror fan glee emotion at the end of all that tension for me. That
Yeah.
kind of like terror, absurdity, hilarity.
And finally, one more from Samantha Christ. ACAB.
Okay.
Amen.
That's very on brand for our friend Samantha, right?
Amen.
Yes.
You know, a quibble I just thought of when we're talking about that. I've lived in the same house for 20 years, so I know my neighbors pretty well. But wouldn't you think you get suspicious if your neighbors, you stop seeing them and they papered over all their windows? Like one morning.
Casey, you and me live in the burbs. Okay,
Yeah, I
listen.
know.
I don't know how weird it would be where Rachel and Matilda are, but if
That's
people in the suburbs are so friggin' nosy and anything out of the norm, people are on. Like, there'd be an old lady in that neighborhood calling the cops every day and being like, what is going on in this house?
Oh, yeah, it'd be on the Facebook group.
Also, who's mowing the lawn? Because that's what really gets people fired up in suburbia when you don't mow your fucking lawn.
Yeah.
They must not be on Nextdoor.
I know.
mean,
In
if
our,
somebody did in my neighborhood,
Next
I wouldn't notice.
I would just
We
think
just-
they were growing weed.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I'm
Right.
saying. This is
Yeah, not
our
the burbs.
this is our
Like-
kind of place. What
Yeah.
we're seeing in this. This is
Mind
where
your
we come from.
business. Is
More
I'm in
16
HOA
foot
hell.
windows.
half my neighbors didn't even know a meth lab blew up across the street.
All right, y'all. I am going to put this at number 8 on my list. In between Presents at 7 and 28 Years Later at 9. That puts Final Destination Bloodlines at 10, and I'm bumping Heart Eyes. So there's your win, Rachel. I do have to say,
I have hard eyes.
I do have to say though, it's almost September. I just glanced because I keep my previous year's list next to this one. Last year was a banger year, and like the top 8 movies in my list were amazing last year. I think one movie on my list this year is amazing, and the rest are like decent, and that it bums me out.
Is it
The
Jenny
level?
Pick? Is that the one that's amazing?
No, I mean it's my number one. It's The Ugly Stepsisters. The only thing that like really blew me away this year. I think like Sinners. I wouldn't say Sinners blew me away. I just thought it was really interesting and solid. Like nothing like okay. Listen to my top 5 from last year. One of these you're gonna hate, Rachel, but just stay with me here.
It's okay.
Terrifier 3, Long Legs, Alien Romulus, I Saw the TV Glow, Lisa Frankenstein, Love Lies Bleeding, and The Devil's Bath. Like, okay, give or take one or two of those, fine, but those are bangers. Like, those are bold, original, fascinating movies with the, aliens, not original, fine. But, like, just nothing, stuff's not grabbing me this year quite the same way,
Yeah.
so can't win them
Still
all.
Keeper. We still have that Shelby Oaks. Looks like it might be decent. What else? Is
I believe I was
coming?
texting you guys about the.
Frankenstein.
I don't remember anything about Keeper, but I feel like I remember texting you guys about the trailer that
Yeah,
I
I
was
think you
liking
liked
it.
it.
Yeah.
When's the long walk? When is
Oh,
that?
that's gonna be devastating. That's I think next month.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
this one had a big hill to climb. I feel like it's kind of like M. Night's second movie, right? Like you get
Yeah.
one good twist on people, and people are in there like, "All right, surprise me." Like I
Yeah.
just think that the sophomore release had to have a.
I just,
Pretty
but it
steep
would also
climb.
like you just know though if they threw more money at him, he had to fight for control, right? Like
Yeah.
that's just how it works.
Yeah,
You can let somebody do what they want a Barbarian because you can shoot it for like $5-10 million and like, but once you get all these names in here, then you get more people with stakes involved.
Yeah. There's the new Predator. Looking forward to that. Maybe.
That Predator movie does look fun.
Right.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Lest we forget the new Anaconda movie supposed to come this December. I know
Oh.
everybody is waiting with bated breath. Although it's like Paul Rudd's in it. It might be
I
fun.
follow a guy on Instagram who goes out in the Florida Everglades at night without shoes on walks through the swamp and searches for invasive snake species, including anacondas, and he picks them up with his bare hands and takes them out.
This guy's probably gonna he's gonna be fine with all the snakes, and just like the flesh-eating bacteria is gonna get his bare feet.
It's wild. I don't go bare feet. I'm a foot never nude. And it's not because there's anything wrong with my feet. I don't care for the sensation of not having socks on. I don't like it.
Yeah. So you sleep in socks?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Of course. People are crazy. You don't sleep in socks. See?
This time of year, maybe not because it's hot, but like I would say 80% of the year. Yeah.
Well, Rachel sleeps in shoes at this point.
Don't be telling my business.
You do? You have like
have
It's
bed
not her
shoes?
fault.
Choice.
It's not her fault.
It's not by choice. It's not like the spider bonnet. Like it's self-defense. I have cats that hunt my feet, so I have to sleep in shoes.
You have bed shoes? What kind of shoes are these?
They're, what are they called? The rubbery
Crocs.
They're Crocs. And they have. I'll send you a picture. They're covered in teeth marks.
You, what the fuck? Rachel, you
I
were being
raised
attacked.
really bad kittens. Yeah.
Yeah,
What the
these are
hell?
the badass cats that Matilda gave me.
Were these
Freya?
strays that you like took in? Like
They're the
Jesus.
ones from my backyard.
Yeah.
So yes,
Yeah.
okay,
So I have two
yeah.
of them, and one of them is a foot huntress. And like there were too many nights where I woke up with.
What if
bloody
you don't
feet.
let him sleep in your room?
What?
I'm just saying. There are other solutions here. Is all I'm saying. You may not like that.
I feel like this is a fairly elegant one. I just slip on a little shoe and she can hunt my feet all night. It's a win-win. Then, like I see the evidence in the morning, but they're not. My feet aren't bloody anymore.
They're
That
brutal
is
foot hunters. They'll go
wild.
through comforters, through quilts.
And
yeah.
they're so bad you can't trim their nails. So like the teeth are really the lesser problem. It's that they.
What if you got like a shelter cat instead of a wild animal?
Oh,
to take into your
I take
house?
all comers. Are you kidding? I'll take any cat.
My God. I had a cousin who had a sort of like stray they took in that would then became like an indoor outdoor cat that would like come and go as it pleased. And yeah, it would hide around corners and just like swipe at your Achilles when you like walked around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do they do that? Just for fun because
know.
they're bored?
Yeah, they ambush the other
asserting
ones coming out of the
dominance.
litter box too. Yeah.
Yeah, I have one that like we have a routine every night when I go to feed them. I get slapped at the bottom of the stairs and slapped at the top of the stairs. Like it's just.
Why
what
would you want to
do.
voluntarily live like this?
It's cute.
Oh my God, stop it. You've got that parasite. That's why you think that's cute.
Toxoplasmosis.
Yes, you got it.
Speaking of, yeah.
You got the zombie cat fungus thing. Yeah.
I totally
parasite.
do. I would be shocked if I don't.
Can I ask what color the Crocs are?
Well, I can show them. Do you have them on?
Oh my God, yes. That's the bed Crocs. Hell yeah.
Nice.
You know that the biggest sign of having that is collecting more cats.
I do really want another cat.
That's like what it does is it makes you want to be just surrounded by cats, right? Because then it has more hosts.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
I'm a breeding ground. I know this.
Sounds great. I love it. All right. Well, that's psychotic. Casey,
We all
As
gotta
a
go
person,
some way.
this is the problem is like because I'm somewhat tapped into like a cat algorithm on Instagram and I'll see cute cat videos. I'm like, that's cute. The problem is I've been allergic my whole life. And so I associate cats with my like throat closing. So I'm just disgusted by the whole endeavor. I've also like been around people who were not properly like taking care of all the stuff that happens in the house.
yeah, that's
So that whole deal repulses me. It's like just the fact that like I'm sure there's ways to keep it clean, but I don't know.
Get a partner with OCD.
yeah.
You're good.
Does that help?
Co-signed. Yeah.
You and I both have this. See, we were talking about this last night, how you were all making fun of me last week for all of my cat obsession. I was saying when Matilda and I are together, when we fuse, we're going to have like 10 cats. And we were saying what you don't understand is that behind us are crazy cat men who are actually
The drivers.
That's
the
wild. to me.
drivers. Yeah, because Mr. Matilda found the pack of cats and wanted to keep 7 of them.
He wanted to keep 2 more than we have. Yeah. And I had a serious, like, we cannot have 7 cats. cats. Like, he's like, we could do it. No.
Oh, thank God you guys found each other, I guess.
He's also very allergic to cats.
I am also very allergic to cats.
What does he do? Does he take something?
He
Gives himself
shots.
allergy shots.
Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do.
He's got the, he's
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
toxoplasmosis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a kitten will get on his face and he's like, oh, I can't breathe. It's so good. Don't move her.
This is insane. I feel like we got some dark stuff tonight.
Yeah.
This is the scariest horror movie of the year. Casey, what do we got? Threads. Let's move on. I can't talk about cats anymore.
We got quite a
doesn't
few
have-
threads
I can
out
feel
there.
my throat closing up just by proxy.
All right, we got a few threads out there tonight. First one comes from our buddy Popcorn Designs. Did you ever try running away from home as a kid? Would the parents of millennials and Gen Xers even notice if we were gone?
Mine would have. Maybe not my dad. He probably would have like. It might have taken him a day or two. When I used to go to my dad and say, "Hey, can I go to my friend's house?" and he sarcastically would say, "Only if you don't come back." So, no, I never did. I think I was actually smart enough to understand that was not going to go well for me, and I would rather have a comfortable house with food. But I had to be fair, I had a pretty cushy space growing up. So,
I had good parents, so I was never felt the need to run away. I did sneak out sometimes to perform chicanery, like TPing and stuff, though.
yeah, it didn't stop me from turning into like
I was a deviant
a
still.
late 90s, like angry white teenager for no reason, literally whatsoever. But like, I wasn't going to run away. All right, ladies, what you got?
I had something at like 5 or 6 when I was upset about something, and I guess I have always been like a little performance artist, so I did the thing. I was like ransacking the house in the backyard to try to find a way to tie the little bag on the stick to be like I had seen in the cartoons you do when you are dramatic and
You
run
wanted
away.
to be our tramp.
Yeah, but I lost interest in the performance at a certain point because I was like, it's not good out there. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So
Go ahead, Rachel. What you got?
A little bit. I ran away. I remember there was one very exciting chase scene with it was like me and a couple of other people. I was the only person that had a car, and so the parents found us, and we had like a whole chase scene with them.
Wow.
Yeah, but we got away. We got away. My little Volkswagen Beetle got away.
where were you trying to go?
Just to another friend's house, like whose
was very
parents didn't
Thelma and
know we had
Louise.
run away. It wasn't like a long thing. It was like a few days maybe. But yeah, we all like
Wow.
badass kids running away.
One time, my mom loves to tell a story. When I was like 4, she was just really tired, and my younger brother was probably like a baby. He took a nap in the middle afternoon. It was like summer. I decided I really wanted to use the sprinkler, which was hooked up. I somehow managed to get outside, went into the backyard and was using the sprinkler, and then couldn't get back inside. So she woke up to me wet on the porch ringing the doorbell so I couldn't get back in. And in like a panic because she didn't understand what happened.
Shit.
That's the closest. I didn't run away. I was just having fun. What else, Casey?
All right. Next up, we got Metal Prof. Stellar movie. But is there ever a house in a horror movie that doesn't have nuclear shelter levels of sound insulation such that crashing, murder, and mayhem in one room doesn't make a single peep in another room 30 linear feet away?
I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that here.
Let's see. We also got the Well-Adjusted podcast. If someone were to break into your home to murder you, what's your weapon of choice to defend yourself with?
Throw a cat at him.
Well, you got guard raccoons, Silly.
I know.
Yeah, you do.
Let me think
you
about
do.
that.
Yeah, I mean, when I
Apathy.
lived alone, I used to I slept with like knives in the nightstand. I was armed at night. Now I just have an alarm system. Probably should.
My
arm
mom
up.
taught me to keep oven cleaner by the front door in
Oh,
college.
that's smart.
It was like I don't know how
That doesn't
much
help you in
pepper
bed,
sprays.
though.
No.
No.
No, but she was like, you can really get somebody good in the eyes with that, like, self-clean, like the oven cleaner that
Yeah.
you leave for you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What about like that, like wasp
like wasp cleaner. I feel like that would be another really good one to have because that also
Wow.
has distance. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like you could get somebody
Yeah.
in the face.
Yeah.
If it's meant to
Distance.
shoot, yeah.
Yeah.
Take your eye out, dude.
Yeah.
So all you creeps out there, just assume I have it.
I have my father's K-bar from Vietnam.
Wow.
Oh.
Crack
So
some
that's my
knees.
protection.
All right.
All right. Next up, we got Elwood Jones 99. Will the airplane run now replace the Naruto run? Just asking for the next time we raid Area 51.
I totally thought about the Naruto running. I
Yeah.
totally thought about that, especially since we just watched that train wreck thing with the whole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, all the kids in this movie, anybody that comes under Aunt Gladys's spell, as you would have seen in the trailer, has adopted the airplane run
Yeah.
with their arms out. So
It looks fun, to be
It
honest.
looks great.
it looks easier to run that way than with the Naruto run with your arms behind you.
Yeah. It's adaptive. Yeah. It's like more
Yeah.
ergonomically friendly Naruto run for people of a certain age.
And I like that it's kind of like silly but uncanny and creepy at the same time. Kind of like the ring crawl. Yeah, I like it.
All right, this last one is from a new listener. Hobbit Hour. What does the triangle symbol mean?
Yeah, there's some symbolism throughout the film that doesn't, again, to Eric's point, like we don't get an explanation for it. There's the triangle in that, there's the 6 that's on her bell. I will tell you that because of the success of this movie, they're talking about doing a prequel.
Yeah, I
so
saw
we
that
might
this
get
morning.
answers.
I kind of took them as
Interesting.
generic witchy symbols
Yeah.
because I mean witches are very use a lot of symbolism.
Renee, witches love triangle. It's just a fact.
It is.
Just
Everybody
a fact.
knows that.
My wife has a witchy history. I'm not a complete idiot.
It also looks like the AA symbol in a way. I know from family members that I was like, "This is interesting."
That's probably it. That's probably a subtle thing. Considering
because of
what
the
this
addiction
movie is
themes?
about. Yeah.
There you go. Good call, Tilly.
Crack the code.
That does make sense. And that's it for threads.
All right. We got a bunch of stuff on Instagram. First up, Teddy Kruger. Is it me or were syringes the true villain here? LOL. Jason DeCenzo. How many hot dogs can you eat in one sitting? I think can I eat and would I like to eat are two different things. Like
Yeah.
Correct.
I would say like 2 and a side is like a nice meal
Yeah.
for me. One I will agree though is typically not enough unless you got like all the fixins in there.
Yeah.
More importantly, what goes on those hot dogs?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, it was only ketchup, but I guess these days I do mustard and ketchup, probably both.
Okay.
Yeah, I do ketchup and mustard too.
I know
Sometimes
ketchup is
onions.
like sacrilege in some people's homes, but I just like it.
I'm a tofu dog person, so you're still fine on this group.
What goes on that tofu dog, Matilda?
I like it. I like them split
Some
lengthwise.
Beyond
and,
chili. Ooh, like split lengthwise and grilled.
And
Yeah.
like sauteed in butter
Yeah.
with
Ooh.
with onions and barbecue sauce.
Ooh, I can get into that.
Sounds amazing.
I made Colleen buy the thing where you poke the hot dog through and it cuts it into an octopus. That's the only way I'll eat
I
it.
haven't seen this thing.
That's adorable.
No.
Interesting.
You can say no, but that is officially my Casey Cannon. Like,
Yeah.
You haven't seen this? They're for
mean,
kids. You can make your kids little octopus hot dogs.
that's interesting that you're like, I'm gonna take this thing that kids like and make it into something that looks like something kids wouldn't eat.
Yeah, I know.
A less appealing thing for kids to eat.
Yeah, but kids, you can turn any food into make it look like an animal and they'll eat it.
It's so funny. Then they hit their teenage and they're like, I don't want anything that looks like an animal.
Exactly. Then it flips.
Yeah. Yep.
Next up from Montreal. What's the creepiest or weirdest thing that ever happened at your school?
Oh.
We had an active shooter at my school when I was in junior
Really?
high. Yeah, yeah. I like went to the school that was like up on a hill, like out in the middle of nowhere, and a police chase from the freeway made it all the way up to the school. This is like not like, so it wasn't like a student, it was like a police chase, and we all had to like get underneath our desks because there was like a guy with a gun running around the school.
Scary.
This is back before it was cool, man. We were like the OG
That's
active
right.
shooter experience.
Yeah.
Mine
We
wasn't
had, like-
creep.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say mine wasn't creepy, but like in when I was at school, they used to do a senior cruise during the senior week the last year at school, and that they had it was a small town, so and then cruising was a thing back then. It was still like 88, 89. So, but they did a senior cruise during school day where the seniors would all skip. They had skip day, and then they do the big cruise through town. One of those groups of them, they were seniors my freshman year. They were legendary because they drove up to South Bend and stole the Azar's Big Boy and had it in the back of their pickup truck. The senior cruise.
Oh.
That was about as exciting as we got.
Again, wholesome,
Yeah.
wholesome. I know you want me to think you're a freak, Casey, but you keep telling me the most wholesome stories.
I have a story, but it's way too dark.
Ooh.
I know mine too.
I will
Pick a
say
lighter
when I have a light one. When I was in college, the college that I went to was pretty old, and is listed on like there are properties on the campus that were sort of thought to be haunted, and will show up in like haunted New York, whatever. And I used to study in the basement of the library, and always just felt very strange there. It was a weird place. And I would
I get
get
it.
sleep paralysis and like see people around me. But that was just, I mean, that's what happens when you get sleep paralysis. You see shit
Yeah.
because you're like half in a dream.
Sure.
And then
That's
you
what they
wake up
want you to
and you
believe.
don't
That's
know
what
if then you wake up and you didn't know if you were screaming or not. So you have to look around and see if people are looking at you.
Yes. Yikes.
It's always
And
fun.
Eric, mine, like yours, I'm not going to tell the darkest one, but my school was next door to this thing that became like a huge urban legend among all the kids, which was a compound that turns out to be a sex cult.
Purple people.
Oh,
I'm breaking no California stereotypes by telling you this. Yeah, and that was kind of surprising in that town. So there would always be like kids who would tell you a story about like, yeah, my car broke down outside of there, and I went in, and they have like whole walls covered in broken mirrors, and we never knew. We never knew. Really
That's a
what
fun
was
one.
going on.
Yeah.
I
that's a
don't.
fun
Yeah,
one.
I
like
await the
that.
Netflix special. I don't know
Yeah.
what went on in there.
Nothing good.
I love it.
We had a good cult scare back in high school. Now that I think about it, during the
Really?
80s, and the Satanic Panic, it was a bunch of kids were started rumors as a cult. We have a cemetery that was between two of the towns, Plymouth and Bremen, and it was an old cemetery that kids in both towns always talked about being haunted, and would go out there and dare each other and stuff like that. And that's where the cult was. Or they held their meetings and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it turned out to be all bullshit. My uncle was a sheriff at the time, and he's like, "Yeah, don't. It was stupid." He wouldn't even give me details.
I love that. When I was a kid, I mean, you would have those things when you were a kid, right? Like the spooky areas that supposedly had like some sort of haunted history. For us in my little town, it was it was an old VA hospital that was once a tuberculosis or as glad
Oh.
We have that exact thing
Yeah.
here, and it's abandoned,
Really?
and that was where kids went. Yeah, it was a TB clinic.
Yeah, so we would go up there on like Halloween, and there'd be like all kinds of like pentagrams that had been like graffitied on the walls, and I had
From
been,
just
like,
other kids that were there, probably.
Yeah.
you know?
100%. But we were like, satanic stuff is
Ooh.
definitely happening up here.
Yeah.
I loved all that stuff when I was a kid.
Love it. Do you think, from Michael, do you think Pedro could have pulled off Archer? Feels like a bit of an odd fit. I think he's got range. I think
Pedro?
we just think of him as such a lovable dude now, but like I think he's got that range. That's the point. That's why he's become popular.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could totally. I mean, think about how he was in the first season of Last of Us when you first meet him. Like he's essentially that character.
Yeah, or how
Yeah.
he is in Freaky Tales. He's great.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Freaky Tales is so good.
Marvin the Martian. It looks like Zach Kreger is in line for the Resident Evil. What would you like him to do in it?
Rain fights.
We've talked about this for years. And there was a Resident Evil television show a couple years ago that did try to hew much closer to like the actual story, but that's like the territory that's left. Like you gotta try to do it authentically to the story. That said, like the problem with that, and the reason why nobody wants to do it is because the story is fucking stupid and like only works in a video game sense where you're just a child and you can suspend all disbelief. But also, if you're not going to do that, why do it? Like, why start another series just to make up new bullshit and not go with the real story? You know what I mean?
I could see him really going like Resident Evil 7 style. Did you play that?
I've seen kind of what that's about.
Was that the
It's like
Village?
that house with no, that's 8.
Oh.
It's the one
Okay.
before
Kinda like-
that where it's in a house with a family. It's kind of
Now, is that a full reboot from a story perspective, or is it more of like a soft reboot?
I think it's kind of a soft reboot because then it leads into 8, which is the Village one,
Yeah.
which is definitely still in the Resident Evil. Or I mean, it has like some of the characters and stuff. In fact, I think 7 has one of the main characters. I think what's his face is in it.
I think that's interesting because, like, if you make a Resident Evil movie, is your average like moviegoer that might be into it looking for like crazy zombie action? In which case, I don't know that you can make a haunted house movie.
I feel like if he makes a really scary movie that happens to be a Resident Evil movie, I think the appeal would to be bring people outside of just the Resident Evil fans, right? Like if he has good word of mouth, yeah, you're not gonna go see a Resident Evil movie on the
Yeah, it's just like, what is it? What is the Resident Evil thing that's gonna get people there? That's the question you have to ask yourself.
We're gonna find out. I hope it's good. I'd love to have a scary ass Resident Evil movie. Like, could you go super hyper realistic? I don't know. I'm like over zombies, to be honest.
What I would like to
Yeah.
see is just a movie made from all of the original FMV cutscenes from the first game. Let's just
Yeah.
do that from the
Yeah.
PlayStation version.
There you go.
I hated those games as a kid, by the way. Hated them.
I didn't play them because they were too scary. Like I got too.
No.
I couldn't
didn't
get past the controls.
It's the controls. I remember, like, people. I'm gonna go on an old man rant here.
No.
Youngins, right, who've grown up with modern video games. Like, modern video games largely just
different.
work in the controls, right? Like, and there's a sort of consensus of like, here's how a 3D game controls. Here's this. The original Resident Evil games were an era when people were just fucking making it up. Every game controlled differently, and you had to dedicate your life to figuring out the basics of moving
The
in
tank
that game.
controls.
Well, you had to
Because they
play
didn't
for
have
fun.
like the tutorial phase, and you couldn't go on the internet and look at
No tutorials,
like, a
no
book.
internet.
Yeah.
For, you know, like, not in this with the way you had it now.
And
but
the
like,
booklet was just like, just push up on the stick.
No, but
Duh.
you know you used to be able to buy those guides. You could like
Yeah.
go and buy a guide to teach you how to play the game. Like remember there's this one game called like D, I think. I rented it more than once, and I could never get past the first level because I just couldn't figure out what do you even do.
and it's funny because like now when I hear people who had like really nostalgic Resident Evil experiences, I'm jealous because I'm like, man, like I get it when I hear people describe it, but then I put myself back. I rented those games and tried to play them and couldn't get past the first scenes because I was like, I can't, I can't with this control. I can't do it.
Yeah, I just
So.
got too scared. Too scared. Be like, I'm just gonna go play Final Fantasy. Fuck this.
I love the artwork. I love the like 3D rendered backgrounds. It's very creatively, they were interesting things, but I just never got it from a gameplay perspective. All right, guest M92. Have you checked out the trailer for the new Hellraiser game? No.
No.
Is this one of those like
I saw screenshots.
multiplayer things like the Texas Chainsaw one?
Oh,
Because
like a what are they called? Like asymmetrical or something?
asymmetrical multiplayer or
Yeah.
whatever.
I know there's a new Friday the 13th game that's coming too. And
Because I have zero desire to play any kind of shit like that. Chris says not multiplayer.
oh,
Oh.
Let's see.
Well, Chris is a resident video game expert on Slack, so he'd know.
A new Hellraiser game, Clive Barker's Hellraiser Revival. It's a single-player, first-person survival horror experience developed by Saber Interactive and Boss Team Games. The game features a new story within the Hellraiser universe, focusing on Aiden, who must use the power of the Genesis configuration puzzle box to help his girlfriend Sunny escape the labyrinth and confront Pinhead and his cult. The game is expected for release on PS5, Xbox, and PC. Okay.
Sold.
I'm in.
I'm into
That sounds
that.
cool. That's exactly what I would want that to be. so.
100%.
Yeah, Whitney says she thinks it's going to be more puzzly. So
Oh, it looks like it's
Great.
if this video is accurate, it looks like it's keeping like Jamie Clayton as Pinhead.
Oh, I mean, because the Genesis configuration, I feel like was something that came out of that recent
Yeah.
film, right?
I think so.
Because there was the whole thing about the different configurations that did like different things. Talk about over-explaining.
Yeah, there's too much to remember.
Whitney
The
says same devs as the Evil Dead game.
Which was one of those asymmetrical joints.
Interesting.
And I could never, like, I tried to play it when the beta was out, and like we could not freaking match make, so I never really even played
I've
it.
watched streams of some of those games, and I'm like, I don't get this. I don't get it. I'm old. That's the way that I'm old, I guess. Let's see.
Laney was big into Dead by Daylight.
I also just think though it's kind of become the lazy way to make a like horror franchise game. Like, so I'm interested in this. Like, this is something I would mess around
I
with.
think those things are like cash registers essentially, because like people are buying the skins and doing like Fortnite. You know what I mean? Like all my friends
Totally.
were like, we gotta go play the Power Ranger one. They were all Power Rangers. I was like, no, I'm not paying for a Power Ranger skin. Get out of here.
Totally. Schnecky91, guess they weren't sleepwalking, huh? Anyone ever sleepwalk?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
I was a
for
big
sure.
sleepwalker.
When I was a kid, I sleepwalked all the time.
I never have.
Me either.
My mom
Remember, like
still
waking
loves.
up just like bumping into like furniture.
Oh, I'd leave the house. My mom still tells the story to anybody that would listen to it, because when for a long time before my mom got remarried, it was just me and her, and she would, be in mom protective mode. Could always hear like when the door opened or anything like that, and I was probably like 10, and I was probably like 8, but I'd always ride on the armrest in her car in her old Cutlass, the fold down one, because you didn't have to wear seatbelts then. So I'd always ride on that armrest everywhere we went. So one night she heard the door open in the middle of the night, the front door, and panic ran in. I wasn't in my room, and she goes running out in the living room to call my uncle, who is the sheriff that I mentioned. And she happens to see the dome light in the car out the front picture window of the house. And she turns and looked, and there I was, sound asleep on the armrest in the front seat of the car with the door open.
Wild.
And she came out and said, "Casey, what are you doing?" "I'm waiting for my mom."
Wow.
And I wouldn't go with her at first because she said, "Come inside." "I can't. I gotta wait for my mom."
God, this movie is about you.
I know. I probably would have been very susceptible to this movie, and Aunt Gladys. I've had a time. I peed in a trash
Very
can once.
charismatic. You did
I
what?
walked out in the kitchen when my parents had some friends over playing cards. I walked out the kitchen in my sleep and peed in the trash can.
Just like full
When is it?
Exorcist. Full
Yeah.
Reagan. Uh-huh.
Just like, whoop. They're like, "What are you doing?" And I just kept going. And they're like, "Uh-oh, he's asleep."
Oh, that's funny.
I used to roam a lot.
Wow.
And Delaney sleepwalks too, but we always knew when Delaney was sleepwalking because for whatever reason, and she hasn't done it for years now, but when she was a kid, every time she sleptwalked, she walked with bunny arms. Or, with like T-Rex arms. She'd hold her arms like this when she was sleepwalking. So every time she'd walk out in the living room, we'd see her come out like this, and we'd just turn her around and direct her back into bed.
Amazing.
You didn't turn on Thriller. Just walk around the house.
2 more people getting their jokes in. Industrial Fallout. Is this Naruto Run the movie? And Blob Nelson, can we do a BGH/weapons fun run? Arms out, glazed eyes, can't lose.
To be honest, it would require Gladys forcing me to do any kind of running.
Yeah, I was saying to Rachel and Casey ahead of time, I want to replace the Mrs. Roper bar crawl with the Gladys bar crawl, where you just have 100 Gladyses roving around the town.
Oh my
That'd be
God,
pretty
the
great.
dream. The dream.
All in that
100
wig, that would be
Gladyses.
pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Where can we find the zombie gals since we got 2 of you here this evening?
You want to do it or do you want me to do it?
You do it.
All right. Well,
You know
you
where
can
we are.
find us on mostly myself and Ariel on More Deadly. Every week we do an episode where we review films that are directed by women. Occasionally we do actually have some old episodes that we're going to be putting out of Zombie Girls, including our long lost Shameholes episode is coming up soon.
Oh.
And if you want to keep up on all that, you can follow us on all the social media platforms at ZG Podcasts.
I love it. I don't know what we're doing next week. Is there something out in theaters? I think
Jimmy
we
and
missed.
Stiggs.
What's that?
Jimmy and Stiggs is out Friday.
That is
Got it.
true.
Well, go see Jimmy and Stiggs. Support
Yeah.
CEO Schnars. We will not be reviewing it for obvious reasons.
We saw
But
the
you should go see
preview
it.
last night. Yeah.
Go support
Yeah.
independent horror. And I'm an investor in the horror business, so
Well, yeah,
support me
most of us are.
specifically. So that's out Friday. What we just had to skip something in theater, right? That's still out.
Yeah. What did?
Oh,
we
I know
just
what you did
skip?
last summer. I think at
what
this
it
point
was.
we're probably waiting for a stream
Yeah.
of that. I would imagine.
I don't even think it's still in theaters, right? Like
I
that.
do want to
Yeah, I
watch
don't
it.
think so.
I do want to see it though. I want to,
It
and
was
I want to
better than I thought it would be.
and I want to make John see it. More importantly, so we're gonna do it at some point. All right, y'all. We are like almost into fall horror territory here, so get excited.
It's
That
almost
time of the
football season.
year, football season, apple stuff, pumpkin spice, rib sticking meals, and blankets, and good times. I can stop running my air conditioning in like
Yeah.
2 months, so here we are.
Can't wait to not turn on my heater.
There you go.
My cats will like me again.
All right, y'all. That's
Warm
gonna
up
do
those
it.
Crocs.
That's gonna do it for weapons. Hope you enjoyed. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.